You are now tuned in to the Chop Shop. I'm Retro. Let's get it. We in the Chop Shop. We live in the Chop Shop. We talking sports talk. We live in the Chop Shop. We in the Chop Shop. I'm talking sports talk. So turn your dials up. It's live in the Chop Shop. We in the Chop Shop. We live in the Chop Shop. We talking sports talk. We live in the Chop Shop. We in the Chop Shop. I'm talking sports talk. So turn your dials up, it's live in the Chop Shop. Yeah, it's lit in the Chop Shop. Turn your dials up in the drop top. They ain't based in debate, but they keep it fact straight. Going 30 for 30, let's do a first take. On Facebook Live from 12 to 2. Rob Hatter and Jim Hicks going back and forth like Carter Ray, Skip Bayless and Stephen Smith. From on the court, off the court, straight to the field. Not a man that steals, but I made it steal. To the octagon where I fight to kill. We go face to face, then you write your will. I don't play tennis, but I bring the racket. I'm on the floor, I attack the basket. Put you in the casket when I'm overlapping. Never showing mercy, cause I'm always snapping. Never showing mercy when I'm in the arena. Step into the ring, you see me as I beat him. Step into the court, I'm never backing down. Killing competition, I'm smacking down. Let me get back to the other stuff at the Chop Shop, cause they cutting up. It's Retro coming to you live to the Chop Shop. Now let's turn it up. Yeah, we in the Chop Shop, man. Shout out to Jim Hicks and Rob Hatter. You can catch the Chop Shop live from 12 to 2 on Facebook Live. Let's get it. We in the Chop Shop. We live in the Chop Shop. We talking sports talk. We live in the Chop Shop. We in the Chop Shop. I'm talking sports talk. So turn your dials up. It's live in the Chop Shop. We in the Chop Shop. We live in the Chop Shop. We talking sports talk. We live in the Chop Shop. We in the Chop Shop. I'm talking sports talk. So turn your dials up. It's live in the Chop Shop.
H-Town, what's up? You know what time it is. It's time for the best 120 minutes of your day. The Chop Shop, the nation #1 urban sports talk show, and also your midday sports happy hour. Yours truly, Robert Hatter, alongside Jim Hicks, who will be in the screen early. He had to go change lids and make sure the dog all right. Great night in sports. Great. I got to meet a lot of people last night. What's up, Otha Brown? Got the chance to meet him last night, man. Hey, Mika. Mika, you got to keep me abreast on what happened over there at the Morton Ranch game last night. Let me tell y'all something. It's just, I can't be everywhere. And I want to be, I wish we can clone me and I can be everywhere. But happy Women Rock Wednesday. Mindy Collins, hold on, let me put your name down. Mindy Collins. I saw Keisha Stewart. And I saw Mika, Nicole. Okay, y'all, hold on a minute. Y'all got to wait. I got to look out for it's Women Rock Wednesday. Oh, I see Ashley just showed up. B. Scott just showed up. But great Women Rock Wednesday. Since Jimmy ain't here, y'all, I saw something the other day, and I wanted to talk to you about it. I did it over the weekend. Since it was Women Rock Wednesday, I was going to wait till Wednesday. I don't know if y'all familiar. B. Scott, I know you should be familiar. But it's a young lady. I got to get her name right before I do it because I didn't plan on Jimmy not being on the air right quick. But you know what? I'll wait till Jimmy get back. So let's just talk about last night. You know, a great night in sports, high school sports. A lot of people had to go on. It was a big showdown last night in a couple of places. Morton Ranch had a big close clash with Travis. I was at the Dickinson game. I got some unique intakes on the Dickinson game, the Hightower game. What's up, Chris O'Neill, Lori Dodson? Let me tell y'all something. I am enjoying watching high school basketball a lot more. I'm just enjoying it, and I didn't when my son was playing, I don't think I enjoyed it. I guess Jimmy back in the screen. I didn't enjoy it as much when I had a son in it, right? But I mean, now I can sit back and look. I've learned and watched how this process works. Parenting is a daunting task. Having a young man who playing them was high level basketball games we were at last night. So Jimmy, I don't know where you want to start, but I know it's Women Rock Wednesday, and Jimmy, we can start a little bit, but I got to interject because it's a very, very important woman history thing that happened over the week. And I got to get my notes. While you talking, I'm going to get my notes, and then I'll let you know when I'm ready, because I don't want to start the show without, it's Women Rock Wednesday. I don't want to start this show without giving her due. What you got, Jimmy?
I mean, well, of course, last night, high school basketball, we're gonna dive into that shortly. But what we have not got into, and we gave you guys, been probably slighting you, and that is keeping abreast with a lot of the other current events that's been taking place in not only amateur sports, but the professional ranks as well. So we
I got it too, Jimmy. I'm ready. Whenever you're ready, and we can get into the other breath. But I just want to let me tell y'all something. Something happened the other day, and I'm very familiar with this thing because just being a father of a graduate of an Ivy League school, I'm a little more abreast of some. But this a lady named Erica James will be both first woman and African American to lead the Wharton School of Business. Erica James, she became the dean of the Wharton School of Business. I don't know if you know anything about business. Wharton is one of the most prestigious business school in the world, and it's 139th year history of this business school. It's got a black woman and and she happened to be black at the helm. Let me give you a little bit about her. I got a picture of her somewhere. I was trying to find it somewhere, but her name is Erica James. She was the Emory University's dean. Emory University, I think Emory's in Atlanta, Jimmy, and she Miss James, who led Emory's Gonzaga School since 2000, I guess that's Emory's business school, since 2014, will take over the role at Wharton. Go look up Wharton, parents. Wharton, because your kid might go to Wharton. I don't know if you know, Jimmy. Robert is in the midst of deciding whether he want to go to Harvard Law School or Harvard Business School, because he has studied and passed both tests. But Wharton was on the list, and people asked, man, why? They asked him, why don't you just keep working and take the test online? He said, Dad, that's not how you do it. When you go to the schools like that, or you attend, or you go to attend so you can meet the minds on those campuses and the business minds on that campus. So a shout out to black women. Shout out to women, period. It's Women Rock Wednesday, but she takes over July 1. But I think that y'all, in the 139-year history of the Wharton School of Business, this young man, Kirby John Caldwell, I think, went to Wharton School of Business, Jimmy. Great business school, Jimmy. And I just wanted to say shout out to people who didn't know. That's a heck of a accomplishment. Now, where you got to go, Jimmy? What you want to talk about today?
Well, one of the topics we left on the table, okay. And at this point, like I said, NBA news from last night.
Okay.
You guys, if you hadn't, been abreast to the scores, want to give you some updates. Of course, the Spurs, they clipped the Hornets 104-103. The Nets beat the Celtics, stopped their skid 129-120. How about the young man LeVert scoring a career high 51 points on Boston? And The T-Wolves over the Pelicans, 139-134, even though spoiling Zion's 25-point performance. How about the Clippers? They're seem to appear back to their winning ways. Kawhi 25 points in their win over the Thunder, 109-94. And how about Golden State Warriors beating the Nuggets last night, 116-100. Wiggins with a double-double, 22 points, 10 assists in that win. The Raptors ended their little skid, get back their winning ways, 123-114 over the Suns. The Sacramento 133-126 over the Wizards. De'Aaron Fox 31 points in that win. Bradley Beal 35 in the loss. How about the Lakers? Last but not least, 120-107. Gallant comeback for them to knock off the 76ers. Anthony Davis 37-13 in the win. And now, speaking of the NBA, Adam, one of the things that we left on the table was the Spike Lee situation.
Oh, my goodness.
And at first, it appeared to be just a little, somebody just put, social media, a lot of times people can jump the gun. And they went out with the video clip of Spike Lee. In case you didn't know, Spike Lee was attending the Houston Rockets game, or he attended the Houston Rockets versus the New York Knicks the other night. And upon entry, he was hindered from his normal process of getting into the building. Well, somebody from eye shot far away got out their cell phone, started recording. And you can hear Spike, you can hear him basically with his displeasure about the incident. Then later on, that clip made it to the internet. Then moments later, another clip coming from from other people, from a couple of reporters, saying that Spike Lee is in the building. In other words, to insinuate that what you saw earlier was something that your eyes didn't see. Your eyes were lying to you. It was no problem, Spike. That's what it insinuated. Then another video came up with Spike Lee engulfed in what appeared to be a handshake with the owner, James Dolan of the New York Knicks. And that photo and that was preceded and with a statement from the Knicks, basically saying that Spike Lee and the owner had ironed everything out, and Spike Lee agreed, this and that. Like, in other words, it was just everything is business as usual. Spike Lee made agreements and him and the owner, all right. Spike Lee then replied on yesterday by appearing on First Take. And Spike Lee on First Take basically threw the New York Knicks under the bus, claiming that their attempt at the press release and a statement was nothing but their own personal narrative / spin on the incident. So basically contradict, and also Spike says he's not going to attend any more games this season, at least.
Jimmy, can I interject something and help you out? I was thinking about some. I watched when the Knicks, I've been a supporter of the Knicks because of what the front office, Damian Dotson, right? It's well documented on this show. And, I've been a very good, supporter of him. But Jimmy, I watched when they hired Steve Stout. Steve Stout is the branding guru, and he was, because he had helped the Brooklyn Nets. The Brooklyn Nets with their image, and look what happened. Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving came over there. So this same Steve Stout came to work for them, and he kind of might have talked a little bit and overstepped what he was supposed to say on First Take. And this New York Knicks organization didn't waste no time the next day talking about he don't know what he's talking about. He ain't got nothing to do with basketball. He ain't got nothing. He don't speak for the Knicks. I couldn't stand that. So I start not liking the Knicks then, Jimmy. I start Oakley thing, I let him get away with it. Maybe it's my fault. But Jimmy, what professional organization sent out a statement like this. And I want y'all to hear this in case you didn't read it. This is a statement from a professional organization. Forbes magazine got them as one of the most high-valued sports franchise in the world, the New York Knicks. This was their statement. The idea that Spike Lee is a victim because we had repeatedly asked him to not use our employee interest and instead use the dedicated VIP interest, which is used by every other celebrity who enters the Garden, is laughable. This is Jimmy. This is a professor. He said it's laughable. It's disappointing that Spike would create this small false controversy to perpetuate drama. This a professional team, PR guy sent this out. Jimmy, hold up. He is welcome to the Garden anytime via the VIP or general interest, just not through our employee interest, which is what he and Jim agreed to last night when they shook hands. Jimmy, professional organizations don't issue Bush League statements like this. Is an official Knicks statement. Y'all look, y'all can't see it. It's on Knicks, Google it. It's on Knicks a letterhead. Jimmy, that's the most inept owner. And you remember I said he hires a lot of people. Isaiah Thomas swears by him because he paid that bill when Isaiah Thomas sexual assaulted that woman up there, and he paid that $10 million bill off. But Jimmy, I'm sick of the Knicks right now, man. I hate the Rockets went up there and let them bombs beat them the other night. And now, Woj, Mr. glass-wearing Woj, he had to tweet something. He said, man, welcome to the New York Knicks, Leon Rose. In other words, this what you done got your mess. This what the mess you done got into. So they got a new GM and Leon Rose, and look, dude, just look bad, Jimmy. It look bad. Jimmy, a wise man told me a long time ago, Mindy, Robert, it's a right way to do wrong. You follow me, Jimmy? It's a right way to do wrong. And this guy, man, I just don't know. I was hoping it's been bubbling up inside of me for days. But that's my take on it. It's just unbelievable that this owner, and he keeps on. He just seems like he nitpick. But you know what I believe, Jimmy? I have no problem with the Knicks saying they don't want him to come in that door no more. Jimmy, that's his building. That's his building. But you don't do it that way. That's all I'm saying. You don't do it that way. That's all.
One thing is in the press release, they called the New York Knicks they put two out. In the latter one, they claim that Spike Lee was trying to perpetuate drama and then laughable.
That's what I just said.
Right? Uh-huh. So then you go back, and I went back and you understand what, according to Spike Lee himself, according to his interview, Spike Lee went to break down as to why. Because a lot of people have taken side, well, Spike wrong, man. Spike should have just, and understand, let me paint this picture for you, give you something to think about. This is, as Spike says himself, he came in through the regular entrance, right? His regular entrance, where you scan your ticket at, right? So as they scan your ticket, right? He was going to the elevator to go to that main, his normal route. That's taking one of the back elevators, probably one of the employee elevators, which would take you down to the employee entrance.
Jimmy, it's a special interest, Jimmy. Yeah, I've seen it. It's a special interest to the side.
And so what he did was When he got off the elevator, that's when the security guy asked him to go back outside and go through the VIP entrance. So here's what Spike says, and I'm paraphrasing. He says, well, I'm going to quote him. I'll read the quote from Spike Lee himself. Once you leave a sporting arena, you can't come back in. Guys, they have the scans. That security guard wasn't supposed to escort him around and do it and walk around there with him. Once you leave out, you can't. He's had his ticket scanned already. And so Spike says,
I'm not going outside.
Once you leave a sporting arena, you can't come back in. I'm not falling for the okie doke. That's quote unquote, which makes sense. I mean, you gotta realize Spike Lee is a guy that's seasoned with a nice dash of street sense. And if you were just glued to the game and they make you go, ask you to go after you know you gotten your ticket scanned, guess what's gonna happen when you get around and try to come back in? They're gonna get your ticket, they're gonna scan they're gonna scan you like, oh, sir, you've out, you know, and then now you got drama at the door again.
I mean, matters that, Jimmy. I'm just trying to figure out, what does James Dolan have against? Maybe he spoke out too much on Charles Oakley. James Dolan is we can't be misogynistic on this thing. James Dolan is acting like a witch, Jimmy. He's just petty. I mean, I'm just looking at some of the stuff that he's doing, Jimmy. And you can't make but Jimmy, let me tell you something. Adam Silver and the other owners are documenting everything he's doing. You got to remember now, only person can fire owner is the other owners. And all they can do is tell you, homeboy, we just don't want you in our club no more. Yes, your dad, you got to realize, he inherited that team, Jimmy. And there's nothing wrong with inheriting money because people think, man, but Jimmy, sometimes when you don't really work for something, you won't appreciate it as much. You know, I told you the story of somebody bought me a book and I just let it sit up. I went and bought the book myself and I read it for 3 times. So it's just, and who is that? I don't know. Let me tell you something. I don't know. Jimmy, I know this is going to be controversial because Odyssey brought up borderline racist. But Jimmy, I guess it is possible to promote and do a whole lot of great things for black people and still be a racist. Jimmy,
yeah, absolutely. And I mentioned this before. Don't you think, because that's one of the shields that we're the pawns that they use whenever something actually goes down, they will be quick to clutch their pearls and the effort until you tell us, try to fool us with the narrative. Hey, look, you see this I did I did this, I did this, I did that. That don't mean that you don't really like us.
And you know what's so unique, Jimmy? I'm sitting there watching it. That man spent a lot of money on them tickets over these 30 years. And a lot of money. And I'm just sitting here just thinking about, man. You know, that's why I always tell y'all I'm not a fan. Fan is the root word for fanatic. I tell you, I'm a fan of nobody's. Never been a fan. Because I can always walk away from it, Jimmy. Somebody do me like that, but he said he been a diehard fan. His dad since 12, since 8, since 12. I like myself more than I like going to any game. I can walk away. Jimmy, I learned that in one of my negotiation ploys, Jimmy. I always, and this is a secret, I hope Alex Pugh, all the guys who promise and want to be negotiating contracts one day, you got to always be willing to walk away from a deal. Even if you don't make that deal and it goes to somebody, you got to have the kahunas and the fortitude, Jimmy, to be able to walk away from a deal. Hey, man, Spike Lee, being a fan, it's hard when you're a fan because you're a fanatic. I'm not going to let nobody, Jimmy, if a restaurant treat me bad, Jimmy, I'm not going back to that restaurant. If I have a bad experience at a place, I'm not going back there. If I have somebody treat me like the man treated Charles Oakley like that, Spike Lee, Charles Oakley played and bled in the Madison Square Garden. And he had him dragged out of there like a piece of meat. So guess what? You know he ain't thinking about you because he probably think you're a clown that put on all this stuff on his front row and looking like a clown. Your seats are better than his seats. Let me repeat that. James Dolan seats on the side. Pat are in the corner. This, what's his name? Spike Lee is courtside, mid-court. He probably wants you to not have them seats. What if one of his friends, let's get him out of here. But he don't understand he messing with a culture and he messing with a media, Jimmy, he messing with a media mogul. That's why the next day, Jimmy, that had happened to you. They'd have drugged your little butt out of there and when nobody said nothing. But this guy has the power to be on First Take the next morning. Because we got a guy that's on First Take, no matter what y'all say about him, got the power to make that happen. No matter how many Uncle Toms y'all call Stephen A. Smith. He got the power to make that happen the next morning. So, I mean, it's just, like I said, I respect the right for them to say, look here, man, you got to come through where everybody else come through. You got it right. They got the right to do that. But, man, that's a right way to do wrong. Go on, Jim.
So I pulled up another thing. And once again, remember, they attempted to get Spike to go deeper because Spike made an accusation that James Dolan is, he trying to keep me, in other words, he's trying to blackball me or push me, he messing with me. Right? I'm paraphrasing from Spike's comments himself. Well, this morning, Spike has made appearances on a couple of other shows and gave a couple of interviews and has spoken. Here's something else. See, once again, when they asked Spike, Spike said, you know what? I'm not going to even get off into that. So Spike refused on First Take to go deeper as to justify or to substantiate why you are accusing Dolan or why would you think that Dolan has it out for you. Okay. Spike said, you know what? And he says, this is just between me and Dolan. So for you to say that means something going on.
What's going on?
So understand this stuff, guys. It's like Spike has a degree of street sense. So do you. So here's what I'm going to read another quote from Spike Lee. It proved that this didn't just start when the Houston Rockets come to town. Here's a quote from Spike. And I'd like to add another thing. A month ago, the New York Knicks, stopped me from using, the ramp in the back for another 28 years. That's how I exited the Garden. I entered for the last 28 years through the employee entrance. I exited the last 28 years through a ramp in the back. And a month ago, they said I was trying to leave the game. And I don't know what game it is. The game that Howard Stern was at. Right? Because I saw him and his lady friend leave before me. Just go do your research. I see him leave. So Howard Stern and his lady friend goes down this exit.
The same exit. Okay.
The VIP exit.
Well, Jimmy, Jimmy. But Spike did also say he come in one way, but he leaves another way.
I just read that. I just said that. I read this quote.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
He said for 28 years, that's how he comes in. And I know that because when I leave my house, I always leave one street. I come back home on another street. I never come back home the same way that I leave. So I feel that ever. I never come home the same street the same way when I'm leaving. That's just some street stuff I just been doing from back in the day. So I can relate to that. He go through one entrance, go out the other. That's how he been over 28 years. So he says, Howard Stern and his lady friend, I'm quoting Spike Lee. I'll finish reading it. He says, I saw him and his lady friend leave before me. I see him leave. I try to leave, and they say, you can't go this way. I say, why? I can't tell you, but you can't go this way anymore. That happened a month ago. And this other BS, well, I quote him Spike, and this other bullshit that happened last night. This is what's transpiring. Only one way it's happening is because of James Dolan. This is a quote from Spike Lee. Right? So it like I say, it's some other stuff going on.
Maybe they don't like each other.
And they asked him about it. He went on and he says about it. Spike Lee says, they asked him, well, do you and James Dolan have a relationship? He says, no. He said, of course, I'm courteous. If I see him in the past, I'll speak. He said, I went to one picnic that he invited me to in 28 years. Me and him only been outside of the court 28 years, one picnic. Spike says. So they have, the relationship is not, so once again, just pay attention. And a lot of times, guys, it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate, but we, hopefully this can serve as motivation for a lot of minorities, a lot more minorities, to start galvanizing, to position themselves to buy, because until you buy and own, then you're going to be treated like the help.
Yeah.
And that's
Jimmy. And guess what? See, this is what I always look at, man. I try to put myself in that position. If I got a dude I don't like, he not just finna have special privileges. Jimmy, you the same way. If I got a dude I'm not like, Jimmy, he ain't coming to your event and they just let him just, Marjorie and them gonna stop him right in the parking lot. I seen it. So, on James Dolan's side, man, the man wouldn't get no more of my money, Jimbo. Jimmy, let me tell you something about them rich folk. That's the only thing that they understand is money. It's money. Them boycotts, that stuff worked. Hey, down in Memphis, when Martin Luther King, when them garbage guys stopped picking up that garbage, Jimmy, it worked. When them black women who rode the bus the most in Alabama, when they stopped getting on that bus and paying them bus fares, and the buses didn't have nowhere to go, it worked. But guess what? Movements, you got to have sacrifices. And where Spike. Spike, what happened?
I'm laughing. I can't help it. I'm reading another comment.
What they say?
Spike in this interview. Off the chain, because Spike is no saint with his tongue. So
what does he say?
Like a sailor.
What does he say?
Because on the topic of he was not called, emailed, or informed that there was a change at this entrance. He says, over the course of many years as a season ticket holder, if I was a day over the deadline for my deposit, my motherfucking phone be ringing off the motherfucking hook. That's the quote Spike Lee. What's laughable is how the Knicks are laughing, or the laughing stock of the league in sports. That's what's effing laughable. This Spike Lee, I mean, he's feeling some kind of way on about this situation, and it's not funny. It comes now and it doubles down. Think about it. The judge had just a month ago dismissed that case from Charles Oakley.
And guess what? Spike was talking about that. I saw some tweets where Spike was talking about that.
What talking about it on which way?
Charles Oakley talking about that about the Knicks winning that thing. Spike was verbal about the Knicks winning that court case.
What I mean, verbal mean as
against the Knicks.
Oh, so he was okay.
Yes.
That's what I'm saying. Which way? Okay.
Yes, so, against the Knicks, because the Knicks won. The Knicks
they
won
won
the
'cause
case.
They don't have to worry about the litigations anymore.
Yeah.
And understand, Charles Oakley played for the Knicks during those heydays with Patrick Ewing. Of course, the Houston Rockets and Keem Olajuwon prevented them from getting the championship.
Yeah.
But Charles Oakley, that was one of his claims, was about this owner.
Yeah.
And watching. And everybody, what it was, nobody came from the masses, from mainstream.
No. The management didn't come. Let me tell you something. Did no heavyweights. The masses, we cried out. The masses did. But the people who got the power, I didn't see what Adam Silver stepped up. Adam Silver, because guess what? He works with the owners. So it's Jimmy, let me tell you something. Only power that Spike, we can sit up here and whine. Jimmy, don't give him that money. I'm sorry. Robert Hatter wouldn't give him a quarter. Hey, Jimmy, I get in the Knicks game for free. I'm thinking about when I go back up there, I'm thinking about not going in. I saw where you were sitting up there the last time when you went up there. We get tickets we get complimentary tickets. Nothing is free. Because I know those people who gave me them tickets, I do stuff for them. So it's complimentary. But Jimmy, I'm serious, man. That guy, I wouldn't, thank you, Mr. Ergens. Jimmy, I wouldn't give him a quarter, Jimmy. Just like if you know how y'all go to Papa Do's and get mad, and y'all go to Turkey Lug Hut and get mad. Y'all go to the black restaurant, get mad. I ain't never coming over here again. But James Dolan, I ain't going this year, but I'm coming back next year. No, man. Let that man have them. Let that man have that money. Yeah.
So now speaking of course, that's crazy, guys. Keep your eyes on that story, but I'm sure it is not over with. How about this? NBA affiliated news. LiAngelo Ball.
Jello.
Has been offered a G League contract.
Jimmy, he can play in the G League. Jimmy.
I didn't say LaMelo Ball.
Jello. I said Jello, not Mello.
It's the one that went, it's old Louis Vuitton himself over there in China.
Christian Dior.
That's what story.
Yeah, them glasses. Them glasses. When he confessed. He stole some Louis glasses. You right.
Yes.
You right.
Mr. Louis.
Yeah.
Who confessed to shoplifting the Louis glasses.
But Jimmy, his credit card wouldn't work, Jimmy. His credit card wouldn't work. He had the money. His credit card wouldn't work over there. See, when you go overseas, sometimes, hey, Jimmy, I got to tell y'all this story. Hey, we went to Brazil, group of guys, right? We went to Brazil, and we went to this place, in Brazil. So, you have to put your credit card up before you come in there, Jimmy, right? So guess what? My partner, he was married. This was a place like a strip club type place, Jimmy. So he put his card up. So guess what the credit card people call his wife?
Oh.
Saying it's some abnormal charges being made in a foreign country. Boy, he had to come out of that joint. Mama said, where the heck you at that the people had to call me? I mean, it was the funniest thing in the world. He probably watching this show and laughing at me right now, but it was the funniest thing. Abnormal charge. So that in Mello and Jello had the bread, Jimmy. Jello card wouldn't work. Jello said, I want these shades. I'm finna steal them.
Alan.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people that go in the store.
And they got money. You're right.
That have the money to buy it. And just, they ain't want to buy it.
You're right.
That's the whole thing.
You're right.
It's sort of the rush that you can get away with from when sneaking or creeping or stealing.
Jim, look at Sonya. Look at Sonya. Talking about that's what they should have done. Sonya quit. I mean, you're right, Sonya. Sonya, you're right. Sonya Billy, she said, that's what they should have did. They should have called his wife. Man, that dude, hey, man, he didn't have no more fun the rest of the trip. No more fun the rest of the trip, by the way.
And another thing, of course, how about, remember a few months back, the NBA had announced a joint venture over in Africa.
Yes.
And it was going to be a league called the BAL, the Basketball Africa League.
Yes.
Right?
Uh-huh.
That league was supposed to tip off next Friday. It's been postponed.
Because of the, yes.
From the coronavirus. And it goes to show how serious that this stuff has grown. This is, understand, they postponed the league. And there are conversations that have been taking place within the NCAA to possibly just preventive measures, preventive maintenance, that is, about the NCAA, the March Madness. And I was talking to a college coach. He said, listen, I have to see it to believe it. This is the college coach I was talking to this morning.
Yeah, that's their cash cow right there, boy.
NCAA relies on that revenue from the butts in the seats. Ain't no way.
Cash cow.
They care about those kids
Jimmy, not
that much to go, unless it's a full-blooded outbreak that's transparent, there's nobody's going to come.
Jimmy,
but
the butts in the seats are gravy. Them TV rights, buddy.
Well, the TV rights, the cameras will still be going on if they had the game. Those TV rights will still be going. Remember, because the TV, they're not filming through the stands.
What?
They could. You remember
okay,
now?
I got you.
They could put whatever they want to put behind them benches.
Yeah.
They can even put ads right there if they want to. They can put people back there and make it look like it's a stadium full of people if they want to.
Jimmy, it's affecting the whole world. Jimmy, I had a trip planned. You thought I called you the other day, Jimmy. It's some stuff happening at certain events that I was going to go to. I was supposed to be leaving tomorrow, and I was going to film the show from over there. But Jimmy, let me tell you something. When the folks tell me these certain places you can't go, Mr. Hatter, because over 5,000 people can't be in these places at the same time, you can't go here. Man, guess what? What's unique though, the airlines you won't lose your money. You'll be able to go a little later. And now we just got the hotel. The hotel, like if you pay for the hotel up front, now you got to get your money back from overseas, and everybody know how hard that is. So, but it's a unique thing, Jimmy. And somebody told me, because I'm not an expert on this, but some people just always said viruses are man-made. This is something that is man-made. Somebody was telling me that the other day. I'm not sure. I don't know, but I know commerce done changed. I know 3M who make the mask. They got an overload and a backload and sending masks to people. So
3M.
Yeah,
Minnesota
3M.
Mining and Manufacturing. That's what that company stands for.
What's it called?
Minnesota Mining and Manufacturing.
3M. And the reason I know I'm
used to be
sorry,
one of the original Dow Jones Industrial Average 20 corporations back in the days. That's why I remember that, back from my economics, expertise. Now proceed. But
no, you good.
Well, speaking of, guess what? I got to read back in
what?
You guys remember over the holidays, I went down to the valley.
Yeah.
And remember I went to see. I told you guys I went down there for the funeral, and then I went to the ball game, and I got to see UT Rio Grande Valley, and with former St. Pius star Jordan Jackson, Cheryl Swoop's son, and a couple other guys from the Houston area, and that were balling out. Well, their opponent at that time was Chicago State. Chicago State is coached by Lance Irvin. Lance Irvin is one of the sons of the late great Mac Irvin, one of the most prevalent guys in all of grassroots basketball. Mac Irvin was a don in this thing, an OG in this stuff. Well, Chicago State has canceled the rest of their regular season games.
I saw that.
They're the first major sporting team to cancel as a result of a game. Remember now, the league we mentioned a while ago in America, that's going on in Senegal. In America, this is the first time that this happened, according on date, that has been canceled because of a virus or threats of something of such. So that's this showing, once again, people laugh. Now, mind you, the women and the men had 2 games remaining in their season. The conference tournament is in Las Vegas. So it's yet to be seen if you cancel those, are they going to prevent the teams from going to Las Vegas? Stay tuned. Mind you, don't get it twisted. It was an easier decision based on the fact that the men's team hadn't won a single conference game. The women's team had only won 1 conference. They were like 1-13. The men were like 0-14. So it's not that hard to do, to make that decision. But I do applaud them for erring on the caution of safety. For cautioning on the side of safety for this situation. Let me tell you something. Last night, I had numerous guys, and I'm telling you right now, don't come up to me with your hands sticking out. I'm not shaking no more hands for the time being. I'm fist bumping. And hell, even then, when I get through bumping your fist, I'm rubbing that thing on the side of my jeans.
Well, why don't we just make it? Hey, let's just have a nod. I'm finna nod, Jimmy. Y'all done scared the hell out of me now. I'm just saying, hey, all right, man. All right.
I mean, that's coming. That could be forthcoming. But I had to, you got to realize when you've been shaking songs because it's so cordial of a thing. I already didn't shake all the time, but now I'm consciously aware. So the way that I do, some people that walk up to me and shake. The one guy says to me, true story. Last night, he says, "Man, you can shake my hand. I ain't got the corona."
How you know?
No. I'm gonna tell you what my reply was. Off the hip. You know what I said to him? I said, "How you know I don't have it?" And he took his hand back, and then he bumped. He said, I say, "See." So understand, guys, people are giving warning signs. Don't you think that they know? Remember, that was a doctor in China who had tried to warn the masses about this stuff before it got out the bag. He had warned, and he came up dead. Lost his life. Because you know why? You see what the rambling effects of it is. Dude, on the news the other night, I tape the news every night, and I watch it late at night. And I try not to watch it. Try not to let the news be the last thing I watch before I go to sleep. Or I watch it first thing in the morning from last night. But the Chinatowns, restaurants in various cities are suffering a backward surge that would be in patronage. A lot of people are not going to eat in them restaurants
Jimmy,
right now out of fear.
Hold on, Mr. Jimmy. Look who be doing your nails, sir.
Yeah.
You know, I have a girl, an African American girl, do my nails.
My nail people, they from Taiwan now.
Jimmy, okay, Taiwan.
He ain't been back over there.
Yeah.
He importing. He trying to import everything back from over here. He ain't going back.
Okay, all right with your bad self. Yeah, better wear some mask. Yeah, hey, Jimmy, be safe, man.
You know what? That's where I can find a mask at. I bet they got the mask because they put the mask on when they messing with your crusties. Hey, they don't want that stuff. They got some masks. I bet the nail shop got some masks.
Akisa talking about she going to Vegas in April. I go to Vegas, but I was going to Paris. I'm not going across that water. I'm sorry. I'm gonna stay. If I'm gonna catch it, it'll be in Vegas or in Miami. I'm not going across that water. I'm sorry. Y'all can have it. Y'all can have it. Jimmy, boy, I can't believe you brought that up. But Jimmy, give me something new happening. It's something new happening in the NFL, Jimmy. We're gonna make it quick. The NFL created a HBCU combine.
Well, good.
Okay, the NFL would conduct its combine series featuring regional combines at historical black colleges and universities starting March 27 through 26 at the Miami Dolphins training facility in Miami. I think they used Deion Sanders to promote it. Both combines will provide, it's going to be more than one, evaluation opportunity for exposure to the draft. And you got two of them, Jimmy. I got you on the 27th, 28th, the measurements on the 29th. Field workouts on the 29th. So, Jimmy, NFL said, okay, let me tap these untapped guys that we've been overlooking. So, hey, I think that's a great thing. Maybe Jay-Z helped to do that. No, I'm just kidding.
Hey, I was just responding, looking in the Boom Boom Room, some of your comments to a lot of guys. It's off the chain. Understand, guys. This weekend, the girls' state tournament is in San Antonio. San Antonio has 11 people that was at Lackland Air Force Base, which is nearby. I don't remember which Air Force Base. I said Lackland. I might have got it wrong. But 11 people were held there that wasn't from San Antonio. They were en route from out of the country, and they were being isolated there. One lady who they released, they released you. You think you're good. So she left and, went to the mall, went shopping, and they hurry up and realized her results was incomplete. And actually she tested positive. So they shut that mall down. They don't want to release, they didn't release the name of the mall, but I'm quite sure we can find out. All you do is one thing about it, they can't hide that type of stuff. San Antonio don't have but 7 malls, maybe 8. Malls are being, so, and my point is this, the girls' basketball state tournament is this weekend. A lot of people, girls is scarcely attended anyway in comparison to the boys' basketball state championships. I would not be surprised if that would be for the final. For this weekend, combined an all-time low in attendance. I would not be surprised. The boys is next weekend. And just think about it. A lot of people not thinking about this stuff and for protecting yourself, believing whatever you believe in. Protecting yourself, and they saying wash your hands and do all this right here. For them to say all this stuff, don't you think they know way more than what they are providing to the general public? They know way more. So all they're going to tell us now for the time being, just, guys, I tell you right now, just wash your hands. Just wash your hands. Sanitize yourself.
Hey, Jimmy, they sold out Purell. They sold out in some of the stores, the Purell sanitizer.
So I mean, I can get 3 for 1 for this, huh?
Yeah, man.
I can get 3 for 1 for this, huh?
Man, you done went and got that from the bootleg. You went and got that from the free box.
Say, I keep me a back, but and I kept this stuff around the office.
Yeah, I do it all the time.
Yeah. Before, but now it has more value,
Jimmy,
because I'm consciously aware.
Jimmy, I got the little thing about this big you keep in your pocket.
Those two.
I call that my Barack Obama.
You know what you get with them?
What?
You buy the big one and you just refill them. You save your little money.
You buy the big about all that mess. I ain't trying to refill. Guess what? The time I got to pour that little stuff in there, Jimmy, time is money. No, I ain't got time. What's up, Impex?
Same thing with the soap.
Impex 7 just popped up on the YouTube feed. Let me tell y'all, Jimmy, YouTube is gaining traction. Shout out to the people on YouTube. It's gaining traction over there. And I know people like Mindy Collins. She's so cold. She got 2 devices working at the same time. So I just want to shout out to that. So what else we got, Jimmy?
Yeah, man. And so, and of course, what other thing we missed? We was talking about.
You was talking about Corona just a second ago.
Oh, your Memphis stuff.
What happened in
James
Memphis?
Wiseman news.
Who?
James Wiseman,
What happened?
right? Remember that NCAA case that involved James Wiseman?
Mm-hmm.
They've agreed to have it resolved through an independent accountability resolution process, right? And I mean, this is from when he was suspended for at the beginning of the season for after his family received some cash from the current coach Penny Hardaway before he was the coach, and this IOP, it was created last year to handle high profile cases, which and it's made up of investigators and advocates and decision makers with no direct ties to NCAA schools, right? So it's going to be interesting. This is part of one of the spinoffs or one of the recommendations as a result of the Condoleezza Rice and her commission back in 2018. So we'll see. This is the first case.
Tim, is unique. They're going to go through the case, but the kid is gone. What? I mean, what, in other words, I guess the findings of this case will help them in the future. Don't do these kids like this again. What's the use of doing it now? The kid is gone.
Well, it's still on the docket.
But
because it still involves Memphis, Adam.
But
it involves the college.
But they served the suspension.
No. He served the
suspension.
I'm saying, but in the case, it still involves the school. The school, that's a violation. So that means the infractions committee, instead of dealing with them directly, they say, you know what? This is supposed to be an independent arm. And they're the people are going to deal with this and find out if any punishment will be deemed showered upon the University of Memphis basketball program. So that's what this is about. Meaning that it's not like, bygones are bygones. This stuff is still on the docket. And because there are a lot, understand.
That's not how I'm reading it, but I'm reading something different. Maybe you take, this is a whole nother, because this is a arm, seem like from what I'm reading, is to look at how the NCAA, an independent arm, is looking at how they handle this situation. And advocates and decision makers with no direct ties to the schools. They trying to find out what did the schools, because James Wiseman and Memphis felt they were wronged. So I got to look into it a little bit more, because from what I'm just reading right now, this ain't got nothing. This has got to do moving forward with Condoleezza Rice and them. They just wanted to make sure y'all got to understand, the NCAA should be held accountable to some of the stupid stuff they doing. So, I mean, we got to look into that. That's how I read it. I mean, you might interpret it different. That's just how I read it. This is an independent.
Understand the word infraction.
But you're talking about on the docket. These people trying to find out, did the NCAA do something wrong? Why? So the NCAA they did their investigation, right? So these people trying to find out what these people outside the NCAA trying to find out what the hell the NCAA did. Coach, you got to understand the NCAA is under scrutiny right now. The United States government is looking at the NCAA crazy right now. It's a lot of stuff going on, but I mean, just in this article, maybe it's deeper, but in this article, I just read it different. That's all. It's no big thing. It's all good.
And I was looking at some of the comments in the Boom Boom Room. First of all, I want to take out the time, guys. You can join us in wishing Mr. Katie a happy birthday.
Oh, happy birthday, Mr. Katie.
Turned 64 years young today. So happy birthday to Mr. Katie. And coming up, Chuck, we're just approaching the back nine.
Oh, yeah.
And as promised, we will open up the phone lines for you guys, being it, well, female caller. Open up the phone lines.
Okay.
If you're planning to go to San Antonio, I have state tournament pass for the championship game on Saturday. I have 2 passes. If you plan to be in San Antonio and you're leaving, or if you are in San Antonio, or if you plan on going, then we will mail them to your hotel. That way you know you will get them. Then we'll get that info later on. I have 2 passes for the first female who calls in and provides their take, a good sports take about something that's currently an event, a current event out there in society. So first female, and of course the phone number, as you guys know, is what's the number to our phone line up in the studio? After we put that thing.
I'm trying to find it right now, boss. I'm looking for it for you. Here it is. Boy, look at that. Boy, watch this here.
There
Click.
you go.
It's on the screen, baby.
There you go. 832-264-1500. 832-264-1500 is the number directly into the studio for the Chop Shop. So you guys give us a call. Female only. It's Women Rock Wednesday. You guys know how we roll on this particular day. Women Rock Wednesday. Get on up in here and get these 2 tickets for the state championship game.
So, Jimmy, you going to tell them they got the coronavirus up there and then give them some free tickets. Boy, you are that's oxymoronic.
That's why I'm trying to give them away.
Hey, man, you something else. Boy, you something else.
And now, let's go. What else we got going on?
Oh, you know what time it is.
Let's go on. It's time to talk about amateur hoops right now. We talked a little NCAA. We talked a little NBA. Let's get right into it. Last night, we were live on location at the Delmar Fieldhouse, one of the best, most intimate settings, arenas that you can watch a basketball game at. It is very refreshing when you're in that place. And
we got to
first we get to that. We're gonna get to the Boomer Room in just a second.
Yeah.
You guys hold tight. We go and answer and get the. Hold on one second. We get this thing popping. Let's get this thing. Let's get it popping.
Call in, women.
Yeah,
Flood
hold
them.
on one second, right there, caller. We're gonna get you. We're gonna get them. I gotta get them hooked up. I gotta get them hooked up, Al.
Man, I love when women call in.
Yeah, I gotta get them hooked up. Now we got them hooked up. Welcome to the Chop Shop. Who's calling?
This is Sonia Billingsley Hatter.
Hi, Sonia Billingsley.
Hello. I don't want those tickets though, but I'm just calling. Hey,
Can you turn your volume down real quick?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, you can hear us in the background. Wow.
Now, how you doing, Sonia? What's your take about today?
My take about today, and I'm not sure if you guys discussed it, but I have a current event that I'm interested in about Delonte. Did anyone speak about Delonte today?
Delonte West?
Yes.
He's in the news again.
Something happened? Again?
Well, yeah. Well, I'm just concerned.
Okay.
Regarding his health,
Gotcha.
Being that he was an NBA player, do you think that the Players Association could help him in any sort of way?
Well, Sonia, I talked to the Players Association. I'm glad you asked. Can you hear me?
Yes,
Okay.
I can.
I talked to them right after the incident, and they have been trying to help him. But I think what happened is Ronald Reagan passed a bill. I don't know the exact bill. Somebody on the Facebook feed probably would bring it up, that now you can't, you can't force, even if you have power of attorney, you can't force somebody to get mental health, mental health help. And they even LeBron sent out a mandate to one of his guys, Maverick Carter, said, man, take the plane, go pick him up, and let's help him. But it's hard because Delonte is they say he's very defiant, and you know, like like they say, a recovering addict. You can never, unless you say you need help, it's hard to help a person who don't feel they need help. So I don't know what's going on now.
Being that he's a danger to himself,
yeah.
You think? You know, they couldn't, you know,
well, they can okay. Now the law can commit him and lock him up and have him committed. I mean, because he might be a danger to us. You might be riding down one of them streets in Maryland and you pull up at the stoplight, Delonte Weston come in and bust your window in and grab you. So
absolutely.
So, I mean, that's a great question, a great take. And what I'll do, I'll put in a call to the Players Association today after I get off the show, just to figure out, because I'm glad you brought it up, just to, you know, because you got me curious again. Jimmy, did you want to add something?
Well, I know, remember LeBron James, it was reported that he reached out to involve and made a pledge to offer to move him, relocate Delonte, who's reportedly homeless, to the LA area where he can be closer and he can help him get some treatment. But as he just said, let me tell you something. That's the fundamental element of all. If you're not trying to get help,
right,
the help is not going to.
Yeah, it's hard.
It's not going to be effective. And it's like you can take the same thing, Sonia. A person goes to church, right, and sometimes you're dragging kids or young people along, and then you look over at them and they're doing other things. Or we probably did it ourselves when we were young. We weren't trying to hear what the preacher was saying. We waiting on 12 noon or 11:50 to come, or waiting to get done so we can go back and eat in the back of the church where the food's served. We hungry. But if we're not trying to get the message, you could teach all day. We can talk and inform parents all day about recruiting topics, and we got some stuff to come up shortly. But if they're not willing to open themselves up to receive it, then it's going to fall on deaf ears.
Wow.
Right. Yeah, I understand all that. But what I'm saying is he's not mentally stable and he's not able to make a decision like that.
Right.
I don't feel.
So we got to arrest him.
It's got to be something other than, just locking him up, throwing away the key, some kind of help, That's just my feel of it. But I understand what you guys are saying.
That's a good one, though, Sonia. And Sonia, thank you so much, Sonia. We got, Sonia, Sonia, we got somebody on this Facebook feed talking about how well you sound on the thing. I'm not going to tell you, but his name started with Herb. But I just wanted to let you know that.
We'll let her answer the question. He posed the question to you, Sonia, and in good faith, he's asking, are you a low major, a mid major, or a high major?
I am. What are you? A low major, a high major, or mid major?
Sonia, don't answer that, Sonia. Don't answer that.
Look out for your family.
I got you. I'm not going to. No. Hey. She's a wonderful woman. That's all I'm going to tell you.
Thanks so much, Sonia. Hey, go and do a little homework and Google that. Ghost Turner.
I am. I am. As soon as I hang up with you, I'm gonna Google this.
Herb something else, man. Herb is something else, man.
Of course, that's something you guys call in 832-264-1500. That's the number to call directly in. And guess what?
I'm done with her.
You never know what you're going to get on the Chop Shop. Now, last night, of course, we was at Delmar Fieldhouse, and Dickinson, the first game, Dickinson just routed Atascocita in the second half. That game was relatively close. It was a one-possession game at the halftime, 33-31. And Atascocita, that's why game plans, they appeared to be falling right in sync with their game plan.
Oh, look at that.
Right? And in that second half, man, Marcus Williams.
Oh, my goodness. Tremont Marks.
And the rest of the crew.
Hold up.
We go right into the room, guys. Welcome to the Chop Shop. Who's calling? What city?
Cibolo, Texas.
Cibolo, Texas. How you doing?
Right outside of San Antonio.
Outside of San
Antonio. Hold on. Hold on. Let me go get mine. I'll be right back.
Hold on. Let me put some of this on.
Mine's in the car.
I'm just joking. Welcome. What we were doing, we had our hand sanitizer. We're just playing with you. Just joking. Now, what is going on? And what's your name again from Cibolo, Texas?
My name is Tyandra Holmes, and I am Todd Holmes' better half.
How you doing?
Oh, hey.
Well, how are you?
Tell us something. We're doing great on Women. It's Women Rock Wednesday on the Chop Shop, and we welcome you to the show today. Make sure you share the show to your timelines. Spread the word to your friends and family. This is your midday sports happy hour. What is your take today?
My take is going to be about Mr. Ball. He's talking about how Jello is going to be the number one scorer or whatever the case may be. Talking about Zion can do what he wants now. Come on, let's be real.
Wait a minute. You talking about his other son or which son you talking about? I'm sorry. I didn't hear.
Talking about Jello.
Oh, Jello. I mean, you know how he. But hold up now. Tyandra.
Yes.
Let me help you out. He said now Lonzo Ball was going to be a top 2 pick. He said, though, the little young one, he said all of them going to play for the Lakers. He was wrong on that one. But as it's shaping up right now, this young one, Melo, might be the number 1 pick. So
he might be.
So I'm sitting here saying, wow. I mean, but I've seen Jello play. Jello can shoot, but
he can.
Yeah, he can shoot the lights out of. But hold on, Jimmy. But he went to the Lakers, right? Hold up. We went to the Lakers trial. He didn't make a bucket. He shot worse than I did when I was over there, Jimmy. But
when you was over
there. No. But he shot worse than me. But Jimmy, what I'm trying to figure out though, I mean, I can't believe they let him back on TV. Miss Holmes?
I can't either.
I mean, he was out of sight, out of mind, and y'all allowed for him to come back on TV. You know what? I didn't even watch the interview. I'm going to show you how bad I didn't want to hear it. I've taped everything. I have not went back and watched the interview. What did he say that got to you so much?
Zion and Jello are
the same.
2 different players.
That's true.
The fact that he's bringing Zion into this conversation is ridiculous.
Oh, I got you. So he tried to compare them?
Correct.
Oh, he got to be out of his mind. Now I see why I didn't watch it. Jimmy, did you see the interview? Because I intentionally didn't watch it.
No, I didn't see the interview. I didn't see it, but I do know one thing when it comes to LaMelo Ball. We're talking about if you just tuned to the Chop Shop, we're talking about the LiAngelo Ball. That's the middle son of LeVar Ball.
Yeah.
Is reportedly will be offered a G League contract from the Oklahoma City affiliate. And now, mind you, it was just a couple of months ago that LeVar Ball confessed that he pressured that team over across the seas when Melo went to play. He pressured them to sign him along with his son, with the younger one.
And they would do it.
It was what they call a package deal in recruiting. And they did. Remember, both sons played. Remember?
No, they didn't play on this team, Jimmy. That was on that. That was in that other league.
Yeah, the league that got
Jeff. Oh,
Good.
Yeah. I got you.
He confessed that he pressured them to sign the older brother.
You know what it was called? Leverage.
Well, it's a package deal.
Yeah,
it's a package deal. And package deals are fluent in basketball. Now, the thing is, I want to get you to understand is that this boy LiAngelo Ball is not a stranger. Remember, he placed his name in the G League draft pool a year ago. right? Last year, no team drafted him. So let's get this straight. It's not like he's just getting healthy. He was healthy last year and put his name in there.
Hey.
We definitely thinking now. Guess what we're gonna do for that take?
What?
We have 2 tickets to the state. How far is Cibolo from San Antonio?
That's close.
Cibolo is about maybe 30 miles outside of San Antonio. So we're north. We're close to Austin.
Well, guess what I have for you? I have 2 tickets to the state championship 5A game on Saturday for you and take for anybody else that you want to take with you. What you do is you text your email to the hotline, and we have the hotline stuff with the software that you can actually text to it, and it'll go to we get the email, and we will contact you with info with details and get your address and put these in the mail today so that you will be able to get them in time to go to the game on Saturday.
Oh, that's awesome.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Now, what's your midday sports happy hour?
The unofficial, the Chop Shop.
It's the Chop Shop. We just like the unofficial.
Thanks a bunch. Okay, don't forget to text your email address.
Thank you so much.
Line's number and
will do.
All right. Hey guys,
I love this. I like
that's
this.
What you get on the Chop Shop, and guess what?
What you got?
Him right there.
Yeah.
So now make sure that guess what? We have 2 more tickets for female only to give away for the Class 6A championship on Saturday night. If you live near San Antonio or if you plan to be down there, make sure. But in all likelihood,
she corrected me. Hey, Tyandra, that you got a unique name. I'm glad Jimmy didn't try to mess it up.
That's a lot of syllables, man.
No, it's just unique. It could be Ty, attack. I mean, it's unique.
I'm gonna get 2 syllables. When you get more than 2 syllables, then you got to come up with a nickname. That's just the rule of thumb.
You see what I said, Miss Holmes? That was easier.
That's 2 syllables. Get 2 syllables. That's just how it is.
Yeah.
And so
what you were talking about? You were talking about the game.
The game. And the high school game, Tremont Mark, he's the young man from Dickinson High School. They rolled 75-49 over Atascocita last night. And this was the regional quarterfinals. Once again, I mentioned earlier that the game was a 2-point game at half. And all of a sudden, in the 3rd quarter, Dickinson just opened up a can of whoopers. And Atascocita, it was the players start to unravel. And you can see when you're sitting courtside, we're on press row, you get to hear, we're privy to hear things that people may not hear in the stands. And it wasn't nothing bad, but you can just see that Dickinson was the better team, guys. As far as they had the better talented of the starting 5. This Atascocita team, I use the analogy, people say, well, we're young. Well, yeah, they're young, but everybody says they're young after ass whooping. But in truth be told, this Atascocita team will be a state candidate next season in 6A, without question. They lose Dylan Dawson. He's a kid about 6'4", going to Texas State. He had a great game last night.
What's his number? What was his number?
Dylan Dawson.
I look at numbers.
4.
Oh, 4? I like 4. Now where he going to play at?
Texas State.
I didn't know he was that good.
He came to see. Here's the thing. Not many people expected Atascocita to beat Dickinson. Okay. As I explained to you, a measuring stick, so that you will understand. There ain't in the state of Texas. I don't think there's another public school in the state of Texas this year that has 2 12th graders who are signed with the Division I schools that are guards. I'm sorry.
Yeah, guards.
2 guards.
Yeah.
That's what I said. Backcourt. Marcus Williams is going to Northern Colorado. Tremont Mark is going to University of Houston. And then you tack on the fact that you have even the shortest guy on the team, this Dickinson team, Deuce Guidry. He had an offer on the table from Lamar State, Port Arthur, a junior college that's in Port Arthur, Texas. I don't know if Doug Jones is watching. I don't know if he actually committed or not. I don't know if he committed or not. But somebody asked, where's number 3 going? Number 3 is Tremont Mark. He signed with University of Houston. And that's the beauty of watching these high school games, especially a lot of times you guys hear us talking about these kids or teams on the Chop Shop or maybe on the internet, and you hear it enough, and then you finally say, you know what? I ain't on TV tonight. I'm going to go on and watch some of this stuff. And you get there and you watch it, and when you do that, especially, you don't know where you traveled from. I don't know how far a spectator traveled. That spectator is expecting to see whatever may have lived up to the hype.
Jimmy, all I can tell you, that Dylan Dawson, you know how I am. And when I see you, you get the call from me. If you ball, you get the call. Dylan Dawson is because I kept saying, who is for? Who is this dude?
Yeah.
And that's right. You wasn't there yet. You didn't come sit there with me at first.
To halftime.
Yeah, to halftime. And I was just saying, who is this guy? I got to know this guy. And if anybody know him, tell him Robert Hatter. I got him. I like him.
Yeah, man. Great showing. I understand. Once again, Dylan Dawson. You have another young man named Dylan Robinson. And Trey Davenport, who got hurt. He got injured, suffered a season-ending injury last month. Okay. Those are the only 3 12th graders on the whole team this year for Atascocita. Everybody else comes back. That's what I'm telling you. Beware. Atascocita is going to be very, very good, and they should be hungry because you got good whippings and you got bad ones. A good one teach you a lesson. A good ass whooping to make you go to sleep.
I got to wash your mouth out with soap today.
Huh?
I got to wash your mouth out with soap.
No. Stop. Streaming live on YouTube and Facebook simultaneously. Yeah. Shout Dominique Green, who just logged in in the YouTube.
Oh, she did?
YouTube page.
What up, Dominique?
Todd Byerly wishes Mr. Katie a happy birthday on the YouTube page. The YouTube page is streaming live, guys, and you see it. We're going simultaneously. And you guys, I love it when you're conversating with each other. Now, back to the game. The second game last night was Hightower and Crosby. Right? Hightower and Crosby. And I wish that I know John Urie is in the classroom somewhere.
Alfio Veazey. I cannot believe that.
No, can you, Alfio, we're going to call you to the front of the congregation.
Yeah, you got the call.
Can you tell your class? He's in the classroom too.
Yeah. Can
you let the classroom know? You have to go to the restroom. Come on out the classroom. Come on down the hall. I need Alfio. You're going to call 832-264-1500. That's our hotline. We would like to speak with you.
Yeah.
We would like to get you into
Coach, you was interrupting our feed the last couple of days on Monday and Tuesday, talking about, what do y'all think about this matchup? What do y'all think about this? And I'm going to let Jimmy go there. Because I've been trying to tell y'all all year, but people talking about, why he always talking about this one player? Why he always talking about this? Hey, y'all. When you ball, you get the call. But come on, Jimmy.
Well, one of the things last night that just thinking back over that game, over the second game, Hightower jumped out the gate, guys. They jumped out the gate. 11-0, and then it was 21-2. 21-2. I mean, it was ugly.
Keep talking, Jimmy. We'll be playing something for the people. Keep talking.
Remind you, under the curve of this game. And as you're looking, these are some of celebrities that were in attendance. We had Daniel House and Ricky Winslow and Kevin Sampson was sitting courtside. I mean they had and Joffrey Day and Rick and the Golden Voice was announcing.
Yeah.
What see, here's what happens. Just loop that video again. Let them keep saying it while I'm talking. So you explain. I can explain what I'm getting at.
Okay.
When these are the elements which help to create a memory, meaning that nobody will remember the date was March the 3rd, 2020. Know what they will say? Hey man, you remember that time Hightower played Crosby? It was a doubleheader. And man, you remember Andre Johnson was in there. Mm-hmm. Deshaun Watson was up in there. Daniel House was sitting all down there. Kevin Sampson was sitting there. I'm just saying people would paint a visual which includes everybody who was in attendance and it was a good intimate setting to watch these two teams playing for the right to go to the regional tournament. 2 10th graders, one from each team, were the leading scorers from their respective Hightower and Crosby. Ironically, both of these players are ranked number 1, number 2 in the area. One of those players is ranked in the nation, and one is not. At the end of the first quarter, it's like a boxing match, that it wasn't a TKO, but one boxer was so far ahead, he scored a knockdown in the first round. Matter of fact, he got 2 knockdowns in the first round. But the other boxer managed to get up. Boxer let him keep fighting, and there was never a TKO. But at the end of the fight, one boxer was so far ahead on the cards that it was like you don't even want to see a rematch. It was so far ahead. That's kind of like what, and understand something. In the first quarter, Bryce Griggs scored 19 points. He scored 19 points, guys. So what does that mean? Hell, he outscored the entire Crosby team. The score was 28-11 after the first quarter. Pete, now, of those 19 points, I had Bryce Griggs was 8 for 13 from the field, which is pretty good. 8 for 13, 19 points. I had him for 5 steals in the first quarter. Now, mind you, sometimes I always leave when it comes to steals, when it comes to assists, when it comes to rebounds, when certain people are keeping that. If I'm undivided, I know I'm 100%. I wasn't totally undivided, so from Hightower, whom I know has the huddle account, and I say, Coach, after you go back and chart and take the stats, pull the stats from your huddle, can you send them over to me? Because the huddle would do it automatically. So that's what I'm waiting on to get the official secondary supplemental stats. But as far as the scoring, we have, according to the official book, had PJ Haggerty with 28 points. The official book had Bryce Griggs with 25 points. Now, the 28 points, of course, if you're going to go, you look at this game, I tell you what you do. And I gave an analogy, a pre-game analogy yesterday. I said, and I will caution you guys, if you go and you want to leave this game and say, well, PJ Haggerty outscored Bryce Griggs, that's a fact. He damn sure did not play Bryce Griggs. I mean, that's 2 different things. Outscore has not have the same magnitude of outplaying him. So for those of you who thought and who challenged and who was expecting, and had basically called it to the square. Well, we gonna see. But then guess what? Now it's been spoken. This kid was work. The thing what made it work so good with the 19 points, unofficially 5 assists, 5 steals, was the fact that in the first quarter.
Jimmy, have you checked your email? Have you checked your text? Woods just sent the final stats over.
You sent the final stats?
Okay. 25 points, 5 rebounds, 8 assists, 6 steals. 25 points, 5 rebounds, 8 points, 6 steals for Bryce Griggs. Jimmy, and I just heard you talk. Let me tell you something. And that's why I always tell y'all, you got to see the game. Numbers don't lie. Nothing against the kid. See, the problem I have is the grown folks who get in the way or selling wolf tickets and the kid have to be there. Y'all got to realize what happened in the beginning of the game. Jimmy talking about it wasn't a Tico. To me, the game was over in the first quarter.
No, the game was over. I'm talking about the individual.
The matchup was over in the first quarter. It was 19-0. It was at the point of nowhere. That's your opinion.
It wasn't 19-0.
How much it was?
The PJ scored 9 points in the first quarter.
Wait a minute. What was it was 14 or 16-0, right?
You talking about the score or you talking about the individual?
The score.
The score was 11-0.
So 11-0, it had to be some more. So it's just 11-0?
It was 11-0, and then it was at the 4-minute mark, the 4:17 mark, the young fella Jalen Herman scored the first field goal for Cross.
I'm talking about the matchup. Y'all been so eloquent. You talking about it was a knockout. And nothing against the kid. Because guess what, y'all? Let me tell y'all something. These kids don't have to be rivals off the court. Y'all, let me show you how crazy this thing was, y'all. I'm gonna show you how crazy this thing. 19-2. Thank you, Kisa. Was a knockout. I sit here and watched. I'm finna paint a picture. Boom Boom Room for you. Let me paint a picture. Let's say Melvin Dews and Doug Jones. Okay? Melvin Dews got this kid. Melvin Dews is the hype king. The hype king. But no, take Doug out of it. Melvin Dews. He the hype king. He hyping a kid up over another kid. Let's say they go to the U of H game. Okay? On a Sunday afternoon. Melvin Dews coming in there. Let's say one of the kids, it's 2 kids, one of the kids are at the game at the behest of the U of H. Let's use a hypothetical. Y'all follow me here. Melvin Dews, the kid who's there to see talking U of H, the head coach, assistant coaches, everybody's there sitting there talking to the kid and his parent. Closed conversation. Melvin Dews interjects and come over and butts into this conversation and tell this dude, yeah, you the number 2. You're going to be playing against the number 1 on Tuesday. Melvin Dews butted in.
Hold on. You're using a name that's not really the name that said.
Yeah, I'm using everything is I'm saving the name to protect the innocent. Okay. I'm saying
proceed.
Because you got to realize I am not trying to hurt the kid. Melvin Dews can handle this. It's a grown person. Let's throw Melvin Dews out. Came up and talked to and said this. I said it to Bryce Griggs right there while he was talking to Coach Sampson on Sunday. So the reason I'm saying this, because after the game, I was wondering, because Bryce said, somebody gave Bryce an interview, and Bryce said, well, it was some beef. And I said, beef? I know the kid, he don't have beef against the kid. So it's a grown man was talking for PJ Haggerty. Parents, let me tell y'all something, man. Let me tell y'all something. Y'all better prevent these people from talking about, I know you want people to, what you call that stuff, Jimmy, being an advocate, a hype man for your kid. But it's certain things, man, you just don't do. Because Jimmy asked me a question the other day, man, the game after the game. Is Bryce going to take this serious? I told y'all a long time ago, when y'all was talking about the Keontae George thing. I said, Jimmy, y'all do business with Bryce. Bryce going to do business with y'all. Said this months ago. Go back and pull up the show. This kid just want to play basketball. But you don't have people come, John Uri, and come and butt into a conversation that didn't have anything to do with you and interject and say somebody is number one or number two or not. Bryce Griggs took that personal. He guarded PJ Haggerty. And guess what? I went back and looked at the tape. Nothing against PJ. But a lot of those buckets you were writing, Jimmy, down were empty buckets. Didn't have no bearing on the basketball game. And thank God, Hightower got a benevolent coach, because he could have kept smashing the pedal down on this team, right? But he substitute and put people and took the pedal off. The game is not as close as people was, and the matchup, nothing against the young fella, it's just levels to this stuff, man. And the kid didn't ask for this. The kid just came out there and played basketball. But if you was a blind man, like I had 4 guys who came in the building who had never seen either player play. So I just hate when y'all pit these kids together. Guess what? This kid took a country team from Crosby and took them to the 3rd round. We should be doing this for PJ Haggerty. But yet, we got people just want to tell us, that's matchup going to happen Tuesday night. This matchup is going to happen Tuesday night. And I know, hey, if you're a hype man, that's what you are. But, man, it wasn't close. Don't go look at them. That's why I always tell y'all, don't be looking at them damn stats. You better go and watch a basketball game, because them stats tell a whole lot of lies. So, I mean, them stats tell a whole lot of lies. Let me tell you something. Listen to what I just said. That young man, PJ Haggerty, took a team from Crosby, where the Crawfish Shack is, and took these people to the 3rd round. He sent 2 or 3 teams home. So let's celebrate this kid and on his level. Come on, Jimmy, if you got somebody want to come in.
Yeah, we got to call in right now. And of course, one person who was at the game and maybe feeling you have an affectionate acronym for this fella, and this young man, you call him PBS.
Potbelly Sloan.
I'm gonna start calling you Hairlineless Hatter, HH.
I like it. I like it.
Hold on. Before you get started, after the game, I went and fellowshipped at one of the restaurants, and they had to watch the end of the Laker game before going home. And they had Shaq on the screen.
With his hairline.
And they say Shaq had lost a bet with Dwayne Wade, and the bet was that Shaq, by losing, had to reveal his hairline. And so, I mean, Shaq, who always has a ball, had to let his hair grow. Shaq thing was back there worse than Stephen A. Smith.
Yeah, but anyway, worse than Hatters too.
You can see mine on the air.
Jack need to get whatever had.
Hey, you're a lot younger than me, Sloan, and that belly shouldn't be that big, and your hairline ain't that great yourself. So guess what? And you quit wearing them tight, them Daisy Dukes, and them crop shirts, and quit, and you'll be all right. So what else you got? What you want to talk about?
Listen, man, listen. It's people saying kids shouldn't, or we shouldn't talk about kids having matchups. Are y'all out of y'all mind? Like, in the playoffs, high school basketball, at this level, these teams plan to go to the regional semifinals. You got Bryce Griggs and P.J. Haggerty, Jim Hicks, in your 22 rankings. They're 1 and 2, correct?
Yep.
In my rankings, they're 1 and 2. That's like back in the day. It used to be D. Gibb versus Tack Minor. Jimmy, am I correct? I was in college, so you answer this. Didn't people talk about that matchup? Those two one-on-one?
Yeah, that was part of the
hold up. I understand.
That's a part of the game. Like, that's a part of it.
Hey, listen to me.
1 and 2, it's always going to be that kid versus that kid. That shit is goofy to say, oh, it shouldn't be about matchup. What?
I said, hold up.
High school, college, professional.
I didn't say it was, no. I didn't say it shouldn't be about no matchup.
No. I'm not talking about you.
Okay. I got you.
People saying adults shouldn't talk. What are y'all talking about? Of course it's about the matchup. Yes, we know it's Hightower versus Crosby. But in a situation where it's number 1 versus number 2, they both guards, they both on the ball, of course it's going to be Bryce Griggs versus P.J. Haggerty. Both those kids can play, so it's always going to be a matchup, and it's always been like that.
But Sloan,
at the beginning of time.
Sloan, I'm talking about the over. I'm talking about the overt of a guy would sit up here and just say, this gonna tell this kid he's number 2 and he's playing against the number 1 guy. I mean, that's antagonism right there now.
I mean, yes, Hatter, but again, that's a part of it.
Okay,
right?
Okay, I got you.
Like, yo,
okay.
Hold on, listen.
Okay.
When U of H play SMU, what we say? We're going to make the comparison between Grimes and Kendrick Davis, correct?
Yeah.
It was a high school they played at the Campbell Center. At the season opener, it was the same thing. It's always going to be matchups. That's what makes the game a part of the game, matchups. No disrespect to Woods or the coach at Crosby. We're not seeing them on the sideline. We're not comparing them to, oh, man, Stephen Wood got some nice slacks on. We don't care. We care about the matchups. That makes the game.
But no. I think you're missing me. You had a person.
I hear what you're saying though. Like, no, adults should not antagonize.
No. Listen. The kid took that and took it personal. But I know some people like to do that. But
Hatter, honestly, he should.
Okay.
That's what makes kids competitors.
Okay.
Yo, Hatter, if you tell me, listen, no BS.
Okay.
Hicks is the number 1 service in Houston, right? Yo, I'm a competitor. I want to be just as good, if not better than Hicks. That's a part of the game. That's what real competitors do.
Okay.
Yo, Hatter, you tell me, hey, Sloan, this guy's the number 1 evaluator in the world.
Okay.
Guess what, Hatter, if I'm a competitor? If I really want that spot, I got to try to go after that spot.
But Robert Hatter...
It's 1 versus 2.
But Robert Hatter gonna be realistic, Sloan.
They gotta compete.
Sloan, I'm gonna be realistic, Sloan. I'm not gonna go and tell Bryce Griggs that this young man is better than him. I'm not gonna do that.
No, listen, and guess what? Some people might be with you, but if he the number 1 guy and you the number 2 guy, it's only natural to say it's a competition. I'm not talking about beef or fighting or off the court shit, nothing like that. I'm talking about on the court, basketball, me versus you, my team versus your team. Okay. It's just competition. I guarantee you Woods feel the same way as a coach. Yo, if somebody say, hey, this is the best coach in the city and Stephen Woods is here going to play him, yo, Stephen Woods going to be up for that game as any competitor would.
Hey, Ashley just said something so key. She said that's how Lamar got whooped. Talking at Noah. But the kid didn't say nothing.
The kids to lay down and be soft and say,
no. The kid,
we have no chance. No, like, I want y'all to compete. I want y'all to go at it. That's a part of the game.
I mean, it's already. All I'm saying is, what would I look like coming on this show or talk? See, that's just not me, Sloan. Talking about this other kid. That young man, P.J. Haggerty, took a team from Crosby, Texas that I did not think.
He had a hell of a year, Adam.
He had an awesome year.
He had a hell of a year. No question.
Last night, either Hightower is that good or Bryce Griggs are that good or they that bad. Because I saw 28 points, but I saw 2 or 3 shots that were valuable. See what I do. You remember I told y'all the story that Alan Branch, when I used to call and give him my son's scores? Get what Alan Branch used to ask me, Marcus Long? He used to ask me, how many were college buckets, Robert? I said, Robert had 30.
Yeah. You had it may be a combination that Hightower is good and Bryce is that good.
Okay.
I really believe that. Because that Crosby team is a solid team. But, Hightower has a better team, and I think Bryce had a better game. I mean, that's the consensus. My issue is we can never say it's not about matchups in a situation like this because it's always going to be about matchups.
I agree.
I appreciate it, Slum. We're going to get your take on tomorrow, but we got a couple of calls to get in. We almost at the end of the show.
Oh,
We're going to bring this conversation up tomorrow. I didn't know it was this late. So stay tuned for tomorrow. We're going to get this line.
We ain't talking about LJ Crowd, but keep going.
Yeah, everybody's on the Chop Shop. Welcome to the Chop Shop. Who's calling and what city you from?
What's going on, fellas?
What's up?
Chop Shop.
Who this?
What's going on? Happy birthday.
Appreciate it there, Mr. Hicks.
Oh, my goodness.
Hey, look here, Hatter.
Hey, Jimmy. Jimmy, is your dog back there messing with your curtain?
You remember back a while I told you that Golden State was going to get Andrew Wiggins? You said you didn't need him. He was trash. And now they got him. And guess what, Hatter? We reloading while the old folks home, instead of recruiting old people.
Mr. K, don't do me like that, man.
What I'm talking about?
Huh?
Yeah. And his mama come on the show, got mad because I told him to start fixing him some food to go because he going to be up out of here.
Thanks a bunch, Mr. Katie, man. Happy birthday, man. That's Mr. Katie on the line. Don't forget, guys, the hotline is open, 832-264-1500. Who you got on the Chop Shop?
This is Freight, your boy Freight, man.
Oh, my goodness.
Down in the background for us real quick. What's going on, Freight? What's your take from the games last night?
Hey, I'm going to say this. The kid from Lake Creek is running his mouth. What Bryce going to do to him?
What did he say? What do you mean? I want to give a shout out to Lake Creek High School. They're a 5A team only in their second year of existence. Of varsity sports. And this team picked up a huge win last night in the postseason over Hutto to advance.
And Jimmy, I want to ask you and Freight a question. Before we can use that, because if I get at the Bryce, he's going to go with it. But
you know how to get nothing, Bryce. It's in the Houston Chronicle today. A big spread.
No. No. Talking about what the kid said?
Oh, no.
That's what we're talking about, Jimmy. Lake Creek. Turn your the thing down in the background, Freight. Because
we'll address that right now with Freight. Now,
I'm trying to explain something that happened last night. Somebody sent me the text last night. And guess what? Those guys had just finished their game. And I think, correct me if I'm wrong, Anthony Fobb. Hutto, what's the name of school? Hutto, what's the name of school? Hutto has a highly ranked player on their team. Jimmy, you know, will somebody help me? Somebody told me Hutto has a highly ranked player on their team. Jimmy, you don't know? You don't know?
What's that?
Do you know, does Hutto have a highly ranked
high school team?
Yes.
I don't know who the hell is Hutto High School.
Okay, so after that game, the little guy Pierce said that he something about he don't care how people are ranked or something like that. Where people are ranked, we won tonight, something like that. If somebody, he was thank you, Doug Jones, thank you. he was talking about Hutto. So, I mean,
he was talking about the team being
beat
ranked
last night. Yes. I looked at the timeline. Bryson was still playing when the kid made this tweet. And thank you enough, Doug Jones, for taking a look at that. And I say, I'm a guy, I don't go off about stuff like that. That kid, I think the team, but I think they got a big seven. Alan Branch told me about a big boy that got almost 7 feet, 6'11", 6'10", something over there. So, Jimmy, and the kid, I wish somebody would put it up there what the kid said. His name Pierce Spencer. He said something that Pierce Spencer. Yeah. So Rick Brown said they got a player on Hutto that's already signed with Miss Western State. So the kid just came on and said something about rankings and they done won.
He signed where?
Midwestern State.
You know what level that?
But I ain't talking about Miss West. It's another kid on the team that's almost 7 foot. That's young. That's highly ranked. You just don't know because you cover Houston.
That's not my obligation.
Okay, then.
What I'm saying is Pierce Spencer is signed with a Division One school. He's not a regular Joe. But he's part of the cum laude of Greater Houston. This kid's been getting it in all season. It's that they're way out there, and ain't many people living in Houston.
Did you read his tweet? Have you read his tweet, Jimmy?
Yes, I read it.
Okay. Yes. What did the tweet say?
Oh, God, dog. Hell, I don't have the thing in front of me to know it verbatim. I read it.
Excuse me, sir. Don't paraphrase it then.
Remember,
paraphrase.
Do you remember just a while ago when you were saying what it said? I completed your sentence. Because I mean, I let you know I read it. When you were talking a while ago, I completed what you were saying.
The kid was talking about team rankings.
I just said that. I just said it. You said you was about the timeline. I knew what he was talking about. I know he was talking about the team Hutto. The team Hutto was ranked like number 11 in the state.
Hold up, excuse me, sir. But the Facebook feed was thinking.
I'm not talking about that. I'm not talking about that. I'm providing
clarity. What? I'm thinking about what they talking about. I ain't worried about what you talking about. I'm thinking about what they was talking about. That's all. What you were saying, the people on the Facebook feed, I am responding to what they was talking about. You always think somebody's about you. It wasn't about you today, bruh. It was about them.
Most of the time, for me, it's about me.
But this time...
No. So you understand that. I'll give you that disclaimer to everybody.
No. But this time, I am responding to what they were saying. And you made it about you. I was talking about what they were saying.
Let me explain something to you. I'm very familiar with the players on the Lake Creek team. That head coach has been a long-time supporter of RCS Sports. Understand this. So people that support me, I'm normally support them. And I'm going to connect you some dots so you understand. They also supported the Chop Shop, Lake Creek High School, Pierce Spencer and his teammate Hudson Boyd. They came to the back to school drive at Triple J's Barbecue. Back in August, them little white kids came to the hood to help pass out stuff and volunteer.
Okay.
So, hold on. Hudson Boyd's mother runs the foundation that after we went and took the 18-wheeler to Beaumont to help after the flood victims, she reached back out and gave furniture to about 4 families down there.
That's what we were talking about on the Facebook feed.
I just said I'm connecting some dots for people that don't understand. That goes deeper so you understand the fabric, understand it. The Hudson Boyd, in a couple of weeks, there will be a big event at the Toyota Center. They're putting that event on. That organization that encompasses a lot of those kids from the Lake Creek High School in that area. And this event is going to, and we'll be talking about that stuff next week, But that's so, I'm saying to you, connecting dots, this is great for Lake Creek. They've won their championship. They're playing with house money right now. Lake Creek High School. They're not in a situation where it's saying, well, we're going to beat them. They're in the regional tournament only
Rankings don't mean anything when you're on the court with me. Rankings don't mean anything when you're on the court with me. Well, let me tell you, what Hightower, so let me get back to what I was really trying to say. I was trying to say I thought he wasn't talking about one particular person in particular, but Hightower is a ranked team too. And he said, quote, rankings don't mean anything. That's why I asked you, did you read the quote? Rankings don't mean anything when you're on the court with me. So guess what? So ranked team gonna be on the court with his butt this weekend. So guess what? Okay. All right. I was trying to chill out about it and just assume it was a fake beef. But thank you, Doug Jones. That's what the kids said, because I didn't have the exact tweet. But I think it's a good thing. And guess what? If I was Stephen Woods, I will copy and paste it and send it to Bryce. Okay? That's all with that one. That's all. It's time. It's time. I'll send that one. I'll send it to him. I'll put it on my bulletin board. That's bulletin board material.
Well, once again, I don't think that the anticipation for this game for nominal fans, I mean a fan, a spectator that's not affiliated or resides in the school zone of either Lake Creek High School or Hightower High School, is not going to walk into that building thinking that Lake Creek and Hightower is going to be it's supposed to be a climatic game going down to the wire. Although it could. That's why upsets are called upsets. That's why a lot of teams mess around or you can overlook past one. Looking at Saturday and overlook Friday. It has happened before, and it can and will happen somewhere on Friday night. Not to saying where. Somebody's going to get upset or going to get shocked and it's amongst those 16 teams that are still remaining in the state in each classification. Now back to this kid right here, as I'm saying, is I just think that, understand, it's 2 years. They're the Shadow Creek. I would call Lake Creek High School, I would call them the White Shadow Creek for basketball right now. Remember Shadow Creek High School was only last year, that was their second year in varsity sport athletics. They went to the state tournament last year, won the state tournament this year in football, I'm talking about, and they are one of the favorites within 2 wins from advancing to the state championship or the state tournament in basketball. These guys out there, and the Shadow Creek team is predominantly African-American with an African-American coach. Well, this Lake Creek team is predominantly Caucasian with a Caucasian coach. And that's why I mentioned them and use the analogy, which a lot of people was deemed unpolitically incorrect. And I just said it and said it again. They're in basketball, they're a white Shadow Creek. And so, but Friday, let's not take I think the game that would be highly anticipated on Friday evening, Robert Hatter, is Shadow Creek versus Maynard. That Maynard team was in the regional tournament a year ago. That Maynard team features Jamal Shedd, the young man who signed with University of Houston. And he's been steady for his winning. Remember, I tell you, one of the things about point guards that coaches love is a winning resume. In his high school and his scholastic career, he's advanced to the regional tournament back-to-back season. Can he work his magic against his Shadow Creek team? Now, will Shadow Creek continue to thrive and do what they've been doing in most big games against that team? and that's we all would know on Friday evening. Lastly, let's not forget the greatest game of the night probably was taking place over at Wheeler Fieldhouse last night.
Yes, sir.
LJ Cryer led the Martin Ranch Mavericks to an overtime win, against Travis in a game, guys, that understand that Travis was trailing by 3 points with just about 5 or 6 seconds left in the game, went and scored a 3-pointer to send it in OT. And of course, LJ Cryer, who, and company, willed their way to the win.
Cool as the other side of the pillar.
So now, we mentioned earlier when Marcus Sloan called in, and we mentioned about a number 1 versus number 2. I would be very disappointed if you guys in the city of Houston are going to sit in and understand we have right here again in these regional tournaments. We have the number 1 and number 2 players in this greater Houston area as far as 12th graders going head to head for their last time in their high school careers. Your attendance is what to help create a setting that can become magical for those guys. Remember, the last time they played was in the Hoops Giving Classic. LJ Cryer did not play in the Hoops Giving Classic back in November. But he
did play against them in the fall in that thing at Yates. You remember?
Well, yeah, that's not scholastic.
Yeah.
In the scholastic setting.
Yeah.
In the scholastic setting.
Okay.
Because in that game, no. LJ Cryer played that game, but Tremont Mark did not play.
Yeah, Tremont Mark did play in that game.
Oh, no, he didn't play.
Marcus Williams didn't play.
Marcus Williams. No, one of them didn't play.
Yeah.
One of them didn't play.
Yeah.
And understand that. So the confines of the team in the scholastic setting, they have not played against each other since the season opener of 2019, 18.
It's gonna be a good one.
So number 1 versus number 2. Let's keep the same energy. So we know these two guys, their teams. Martin Ranch could beat Dickinson.
Yeah.
Dickinson is expected to beat Martin Ranch, but it's not like that. Not like the Gap or High Tower team over for Crosby team.
That's a good point.
We're not going to see no 21-2 start on this game coming up on here. That ain't happening. I'm telling you that right now. So understand, somebody, if you are a basketball fan on Friday evening, that game is worth the ticket.
Yes, sir.
If you're a nominal fan, I'm not saying don't go see your own team play that you might support, but if you just want to see back, that game will be held at the Berry Center.
Yeah.
No, it's the Merrill Center.
Which one, Jimmy?
Berry Center.
Berry. Yeah, Berry.
Yeah. At the Berry Center, our Disciples. And the other semifinal game is Bel Air versus Summer Creek.
Is that at Berry Center also?
Yes.
Well, I'll be leaving trying to get. I got to go to boat. I got to go. Yeah.
So know what that means?
30 minutes. 30-minute drive.
No matter what.
Huh?
Whoever comes out of Region 3 in 6A will be their first time ever going to state.
Oh, so all 4 of them.
Whoever comes out will be their first time going to state.
Okay.
None of these coaches have been in the 6A. Bel Air have been to the regional one time, I recall, and that's the last season back in 2009. Well, 2010, right before Toby Ayedeji passed away in a tragic car accident leaving the prom. This is the last time that Bel Air has been to the regional tournament. I think the only time under Bruce Glover. Hell, it might be the only time, period. Because back when Hudak was the coach and they had Emeka Okafor and John Lucas III, they played TJ Ford and Willow Ridge at the Coleman Coliseum, but that wasn't the regional tournament. That was like the second, third round. So now back to this matchup, Bel Air, Coach Glover. And I'm going to tell you right now, I tip my lid to Coach Glover because Coach Glover is not one of the coaches. Think about it like this. We expected Dickinson to be here.
Yeah. We expected Martin Ranch.
A full, healthy Martin Ranch. We expected them to come out that core.
Yeah. And Jimmy, enough wasn't said about that, Jimmy.
What's that?
You said full healthy. Man, think about the fortitude of this team who's been hurt and hurt. Man, that's a testament how good Martin Ranch has been this season. Because guess what? Some people almost wrote him off a little bit. You remember? But keep going. Who else?
Yeah, and we were talking about the Bel Air.
Yeah, you talking about you was talking about the coaches.
About the coaches. I said Bel Air there was no rumblings whatsoever about Bel Air in the preseason. Man, we going to regional. Bel Air was saying what Bel Air was telling me and Coach Glover was that Sam Houston ain't winning our district. You got them ranked high. We're gonna beat them. We beat them last. We're gonna beat them again this year.
Wow.
We're gonna win the district. That's what Bel Air was saying. We're gonna be the number 1 seed, and we're gonna go and we're gonna take it from there. And that's respectful enough. So once again, just like Lake Creek, Bel Air playing with house money right now. But why you this close? Bel Air looking over at Summer Creek. One thing about Glover, he does a lot of homework. Not to say the other coaches do. Now, Summer Creek, Coach Kenneth Coleman, he's never been there in the 6A ranks, but he won the state championship with Port Arthur Memorial just 3 seasons ago. So understand what's going on with him. At the beginning of the season, Port Arthur was saying, we're going to state. He was saying this, we're going to state. Now, many people, I had Beaumont United to come out of that quad.
You talking about this year?
This year.
Okay.
This year. This coach was telling us early on. And guess what? They had another guy. Remember, the legend, Dwayne Rogers, was right there alongside parallel and echoing coach. And whenever they would have a big game, every night you hear Dwayne to come out, watch, Hicks, we're gonna kick all the team, but the Beaumont team, my boys, I know what's in their heart. This is Dwayne Rogers talking. I'm quoting him. I know what's in their heart. How? Because I work these boys out. And now every other school has somebody that worked their core out. Well, those guys at Summer Creek are worked out by the legend, Dwayne Rogers. Don't know who he is. Google him, put basketball behind his name. Don't have time to explain. And the thing about it, Dwayne works them out, and his son works them out. So that means whatever language that Dwayne Rogers can't speak to those kids, they can reach him. He's kind of like John Lucas. He's going to cuss a little bit. And sometimes the kids will tap out when you cuss too much at them. Well, his son, Dwayne Rogers Jr., he's a little close to their age, so he can kind of let them understand, he played college ball, came out of Humble High School. So they've been in that community out there. And then to think about it, that Summer Creek, that team had all of the dynamics to get out of this region. Don't get it twisted. We saw Summer Creek at their highest. We've seen Summer Creek struggle a little bit. We've seen that. So this regional in 6A is cool. Now, the thing is, which team can best serve or have the best chance? It doesn't have to do with our choice. Another team ain't gonna fold over just because we think, but I'm posing a question. Which of those 4 teams would you feel comfortable saying that they can possibly beat Duncanville, who struggled and won in overtime last night? Duncanville ain't been playing some crisp basketball. But guess what? If you get overtime with them, they ain't lost all year in overtime. I think they won 2 or 3 in overtime.
So who we got? Summer Creek, Bel Air, Martin Ranch, and Dickinson. Them out 4 chances. Let me tell you something. I would have to go the winner of the Martin Ranch Dickinson game is the person that I think would have a better shot at beating them guys up there in Dallas. I mean, in San Antonio. That's just me.
I think like this. I think Summer Creek would be the equivalent of back when Elkins went to state. Remember Elkins went to state with what's the guy, Chad Bowie's son?
Oh,
what's
yeah.
I mean, Chad Bowie is his name.
Yeah.
With Anthony
they
Bowie's
didn't look like much, but they won. Yeah. Let's go.
They were They were guard heavy. Mm-hmm. They knew what they were going to do. There was no guy on the team that had a Division I accolades. Mm-hmm. But they would kick your butt. That team, along with the Clear Lake team that came a year before or two before then, was the team the Summer Creek. Because you know what? I'm thinking about teams when you can see and you go and you see kids do a lot of things to help them bond. Yes. And they go through tribulations and hurdles. Summer Creek has the story of the underdog story. I'm not discounting.
Everybody got a story, Jimmy.
I'm talking about the tragedy in their system that makes the story. You have Dylan Scales, who lost his dad a year ago. So what happened is a lot of those parents came together and served as one big dad figure for this young man. And know what I got a call last night? I got a call after their game. Doug Jones was out there, and I got a call from a coach, a nominal coach, had never seen Summer Creek play all year. Know what the first thing he said? He said, man, that point guard is dynamic. He didn't score a lot. And that's what everybody say that watch Dylan Scales play. He say, of course, the best player.
And he said dynamic? Dynamic is a whole nother, or steady.
He say dynamic in the form of the way he ran the team. The way they got,
they don't describe. Dynamic is got so many.
That's not.
Yeah,
I
okay.
understand what he did. He was talking about in regards to the way he ran the team, the way he kept everybody happy, the way he got to places he wasn't not with his shooting, but the way that if a head coach, remember this coming from a high school head coach, a former high school, he retired now, from those set of eyes, meaning in other words, he quoted the North Shore High School coach says that if he had Dylan Scales as his point guard, they're going to state. Remember, North Shore.
So the Cooper guy was. So you rather have him than Cooper?
Cooper is his scorer. He ain't his floor general like that.
Well, he didn't score. When I saw him, he didn't score.
Well, that's against Hightower. Okay, I mean, he laid a goose egg. But the kid, guess what? He has a scholarship and he's going to college to play free. And that's what I'm saying. That's when you saw him. Yeah. That's going against one of the best players.
All I can do is go by when I saw him.
That's going against one of the best 10th graders to ever play in the history of Houston basketball. You going to measure him against Emil Marlowe?
No.
Stop.
No, I'm not measuring. You said.
That's what you just did. You just did? Stop.
You said he's a scorer.
You just say, and you replied he did not score
when I saw him. Yeah. That don't mean he can't stop. That don't mean he can't score when I see him. What the hell are you talking about? So when all the games I see him, he don't score, but you call him a scorer. So what about him being a college coach that day? Oh, no.
If you'd been a college coach that day, you would not have offered him. But you go see him the day before, the game before that, he scored 25. That same tournament.
I wouldn't offer him that day then. Okay.
Okay, but you didn't see him that day. That's like that applies to most kids in Greater Houston. Hell, look at the kid from Sharpstown we just talked about the other week when they got eliminated in the playoffs by Hightower. How many did that boy score? What if a college coach who they claim all them offers would have saw him play that day?
He big, Jimmy.
He big. Oh,
big. You saying bigs don't matter?
The high major offers or schools that's recruiting him, would they have offered him if they saw him that night?
In 11th grade. Hey, in 11th grade. He ain't in 12th grade. He in 11th grade. He got another year.
Dude, I don't care if he's in the 3rd grade. But anyway, guys, you guys are going to keep us here all day. Y'all know it's Women Rock Radio. Guess what? I got my cup. I'm about to go and load up again. And meanwhile, you want to thank everybody for tuning in. Make sure you share the show.
Yes.
If you hadn't done so already.
I didn't do it today. Hold on. I just did
it. And Chris O'Neal, before we get out of here.
What Chris said?
Yes. We applied that narrative early in the season for us, Bryce, You think that maybe Bryce is trying to win it for his dad who passed a year ago. Yes, but Hightower, we were talking about.
Good point.
Using that, talking about underdogs. Hightower is not an underdog in this region. They're not an underdog. They are a favorite. I was talking about the stories when it applies to an underdog. It seemed like Beaumont United, we said it earlier in the year, they were a favorite,
yeah,
but they would have been a great heart-grabbing story that could have been a 30 for 30 based on the fact that so many people from Beaumont were displaced short for a brief period of time after the floods. These people experienced 2 major floods in a 2-year span. Think about that. You know what I mean? But yes, absolutely. Bryce Griggs for similar reasons that we mentioned about Dylan Scales. That yes, you're playing for your dad. Yeah. That would be an understatement.
Yeah.
Now the thing is, all those other kids from Hightower playing for his dad. I know those guys at Summer Creek they all playing for Jared Scales.
Bingo.
That's the question when I mentioned you cohesiveness of the team. I've seen teams are in the playoff that are winning right now. I'm not going to name them, but are winning right now where parents were still this week. Well, I say this month.
Yeah.
No, it just got to be March. In the last 2 weeks, I've seen and heard from earshot parents bickering among this, talking out loud or talking at the coaches or talking and complaining, why you take this guy out? Why you didn't take this guy out? So that means just let that soak in. And we'll talk about this stuff tomorrow. You guys so then guess what?
You're telling the truth. I'm just echoing because people was just telling me it's some stuff you talking about in the last month. People said something happened this week, and people still winning.
I can believe it.
Yeah.
I can believe it.
Yeah.
So you guys understand, when you see that happening, that's kind of the beginning of the tape coming loose. Mm-hmm. You have your wrist taped up and you're playing, and that tape start to come loose a little bit. That's the beginning. A couple more possessions, in due time, that tape gonna come loose a little more. It's gonna come loose. Then it's gonna unravel. Or some people that they do, I've seen little kids, they just tear the tape off. Hell with this tape. I don't need this tape.
Happy Women's Rock Wednesday.
See.
Yeah.
It's inevitable for some teams. Now, very few can overcome that.
I can't believe we got off this air, but I guess you're saving that for tomorrow without talking about the JY. I can't believe it. Well, we'll talk about that because aren't they playing against Silsby?
No.
Not yet?
No.
Got a chance.
They're in the semifinals.
Okay.
And we're talking about
that tomorrow.
On tomorrow. JY playing the semifinals. Silsby nipped Booker T. Washington by 1 point. Remember,
Gates Grayson ain't playing no games over there.
Beat Booker T by 30? So, and we'll talk about that a lot more tomorrow, guys.
Yeah, this is getting good.
Thanks so much for everybody. And Marcus Sloan says like your bill. Shout out to you guys, man. Thanks so much. Once again, we appreciate the support. Shout out to everybody in the YouTube. Martin Vaughn, I see your heart. Ugly, and all you guys. I mean, thanks a bunch for tuning to the Chop Shop. But on tomorrow, we're gonna get this thing in, baby Friday.
Be crazy
y'all
tomorrow.
Be safe out there, man. And peace. See you in 22 hours.
See y'all later. Where my button?
Jim Hicks, Rob Hatter. You are now tuned in to the Chop Shop. I'm Retro. Let's get it. We in the Chop Shop.